3 years ago, my mother was secretly taken to the West Palm Beach courthouse and put into a guardianship. This was done without the knowledge of all but one person in our family, and since then, it's been a disaster. She had had her rights taken away immediately. She was not allowed to have her own attorney. She had no control over how she spent her money. In fact, the attorneys appointed by the court spent money opposing what her advance directive said and what she clearly desired and was entitled to. There's been a process of, over the years, of draining the account as much as possible. Our family is fighting it. But just in the first 2 months alone of the emergency temporary guardianship, over $100,000 was approved by the court to attorney fees. My mother's not a wealthy person. Her estate, including her home, is less than $1 million, $850,000. And so now the bills are up in the $400,000 or $500,000 range, and they're trying to sell her home, kick her out of her home, to put her in an assisted living facility. Against all this against her will and against medical evidence. And I'm here to hopefully make it so that this doesn't happen to other people. If it's not stopped now, it's only going to get worse. It's about greed. It's not about caring for individuals or seniors. It's about greed. These people are supposed to be taking care of parents. They're bankrupting parents.
My name is Marla Zahn. I'm from Wisconsin. Louise Zahn is celebrating her 100th birthday as a Rosie the Riveter with Jean Davison and her son. During the war years, Louise worked for Harley Davidson. My mother was made incompetent because she was 99 years old. That's age discrimination. I had the power of attorney for health care. There were no 2 doctors' reports of incapacity. Judge Sandy Williams denied Louise Zahn legal representation before the first court hearing of December 22, 2011. Judge Sandy Williams, less than 90 days later, declared Louise incompetent on March 7, 2012, without clear and convincing evidence. Judge Sandy Williams gave guardianship to Easter Seals, who committed fraud and robbed my mother of her estate. My lawyer and I opposed guardianship at several hearings. Judge Malloy ruled against state law and instituted my mother to an unlawful facility, Harbor. Catherine Torsivia, administrator of Harbor, went along with the kidnapping of my mother. I contacted many legal professionals for help, but no one would go against the bar and the judges. Because I opposed guardianship, I was not allowed to visit my mother for the last 3 years of her life. I took care of my mother in her home for 13 years. There is no restraining order against me. All of my possessions and my mother's possessions were destroyed when the home was gutted immediately after my lockout. I was callously made homeless in order for the guardianship to get control of the money from the sale of the home. Thank you for your time.
No, it's you, Terry.
All right. Hi, I'm Dr. Terry Kennedy. I am the niece of Dr. Lily S. White. She was abducted by a court-appointed guardian on August 30th, 2016. It has been over 14 months since we have seen her. And while the guardian and the attorney ad litem and the guardian ad litem are billing against her estate, it is racketeering, it is human trafficking, it is preying on our most precious, our elderly, our seniors, in a time where we should be cherishing their wisdom. We are victimizing them. And so we must end this type of probate piracy and allow the judges and the attorneys to be stripped of their licenses if they're found to have done this.
Hi, it's Cindy and Ken Carson here, and we are here to educate others, to let them know what's going on now with our judicial system and how they have legalized judicial theft. I am so sorry.
Start again. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Hi, this is Cindy and Ken Carson here, and we are trying to educate others about the abuse of the guardianship and probate legal system, how they have legalized extortion of our most vulnerable citizens, the elderly, and we are doing all we can. We can't save my dad now, it's too late to help him, but we can try to let others know what's going on, and maybe together we can stop this legalized extortion theft of our most valuable group of people, the elderly.
I agree 100%. Her father was a decorated war veteran and just an average worker who saved his money well through his lifetime.
A U.S. Marine.
U.S. Marine, and it is all gone. They took it all. And ours too is all gone now because we tried to fight it.
We fought
and
them.
We lost every single.
There was no due process. We were just railroaded. So we want to keep this from happening to you.
Thank you very much for having this conference here with us, demonstrating about the problems and that happened to our parents, especially to my mother, Maria Emerald. We are from Massachusetts, and everything that you see here happened to my mom. The worst thing that happened to my mother was the isolation that kept her from her children, her grandchildren. And it was the most horrific experience of our lives that we have ever experienced. No one ever in a free country should ever experience being isolated from their beloved mother and father. It's our godly duty to protect our mother and father, not have a court take our mother and liquidate everything she has and isolate her just for the money. That's not acceptable. We love our mother and we love her. We had her for 4 months. That's all we had her for, 4 months. But I'm relieved to tell you that we are able to demonstrate peacefully, so this will never ever happen to anyone else. Thank you very much.
It's time to stop the elder abuse for profit.
My name is Roger Hilligus. We're from Reno, Nevada. My mother, Susan Hilligus, is in an abusive guardianship through the corrupt family courts of equity. Guardianship is a travesty. My mother had planned ahead, and she had done powers of attorney, and she'd put a trust together. And those were violated by the judge. I was ordered to pay 5 attorneys appointed by the judge. And when I refused, I was removed as my mother's power of attorney trustee, and this has to stop. And that is why I'm here with Americans Against Abusive Probate Guardianship.
This guy's reading every sign. We're hoping that we'll get the attention of some of these probate judges and realize that they need to be watching these guardians very, very carefully and need to be looking out for the elderly, not looking out for the guardians and the guardians' attorneys.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was.
What? We did it already. Oh, you went?
Go ahead.
What do you want me to go on to?
This is for real, not a rehearsal.
Oh, the other one was.
Rehearsal.
Oh,
What?
Jill, get up there.
Hell, my.
Man, we had it so good.
Now you can do it better.
Marley, come here.
Guys, stop.
Marley, come here. Come here, Marley. Don't knock over the soda.
Okay, let's talk.
Jill.
Less editing, the better.
Marley, come here. Sit. Go ahead, Jill. You start out.
My mom's advance directives were totally ignored, and the guardianship came in and took over all my mother's money, which is being depleted very rapidly. And I was supposed to be the one that took care of my mom. But they just took over.
You know, all her advance directives were done a few years prior, and Mom lived with us for 2 years. As this guardian called us into court, and Mom was living with us and said my wife was on drugs, I'm abusive, and Mom's life was in danger. Okay, the judge of this guardianship that allowed it and created it is the judge's wife, works for as Wells Fargo's CFP, handling all Mom's investments, working for the guardian. And in my words, that's a conflict of interest. But you know, they just keep the guardian hasn't seen Mom for over 4 years. She hasn't been in our home. Okay, Mom's been with us, but again, they just keep money. We needed a refrigerator. She said, we'll go to court. They wanted to go to court for a refrigerator. We said, we're not going to participate in going to court for a refrigerator or any other menial things. Okay?
No, I'm going to call you my official gypsy.
I know, but Roger said you would guess who's coming.
Okay,
Yeah, I haven't gone back yet, and
I have made a designation of guardian in case I run into this problem.
What you got?
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Rick Black, and
And I'm Terry.
I volunteer with AAAPG, and we're out here taking a stand for the vulnerable in our country. There's